Hey, all right. You are listening to the Deadman's Tome podcast, a show that is completely demonetized because YouTube hates Taiwan. No, I'm just joking. No, but it's completely demonetized because this show is too damn sexy, and that's the God's honest truth, man. That's what happened. Susan Wojcicki got off to my voice, and she banned it. I can show you the message if you don't believe me. My wife found out, got pissed off, tried to file a complaint, didn't go through, not at all. In fact, it got worse. They said they were going to give me a chance to appeal it. Now they just, no, you're done. This channel's done. No more super chats. Anyway, tonight we're talking about Taiwan. Taiwan number one. I was serious when I put that post. I want to start talking about some Taiwan horror movies. I want to talk about some Taiwan slashers. That's what I really want to get into. But the first one I watched was a movie called Tagalong, or The Tagalong, and that's it's really not that bad. It's sort of like a Conjuring type of film. It's more like a better version of The Forest, 2016 The Forest with what's that chick's name? The chick on Game of Thrones, Natalie. I don't know. Natalie Dormer. There we go. Yeah, I had to look it up. That's not her. Let me go ahead and pull her up. Natalie Dormer. She's not bad looking. She's not bad to the eyes at all. Where is she? There we go. There she is. Natalie Dormer. But yeah, it's like a better version of that movie. The thing I did not like about the 2016 The Forest is that it really had a bunch of lame jump scares. That's really what that movie was. Lame jump scares. Like, even right from the beginning. It wasn't even needed. It wasn't even called for. But that's what they did. Now, in the tag-along, and we're going to get into that. Yeah, there's jump scares in that movie. Not as much. It happens. It's one of those, it's a paranormal, tries to be psychological, and it has fun with that. I think it delivers home with the psychological aspect, but it definitely, like those paranormal films, they use a lot of jump scares, right? Has a creepy imagery that you'd be expecting. The storyline's pretty interesting. But I'm going to pause that for a second. We're going to talk about Taiwan. Taiwan being number one. Taiwan being better than China. Be number one. Now, depending on who you ask, if you ask China, there is no Taiwan. There's only China. That's it. However, Taiwan will say they're the real China. But which one's better? Let's see. Straight off the bat, both Taiwan and China both kind of exploit labor, cheap labor. Taiwan, they benefit from over, 700,000 guest workers from Vietnam, Indonesia, Philippines, and they do that. You know, a lot of countries do that shit. America does that as well, and China does it. But China has Muslim concentration camps with forced labor and organ harvesting. And no one talks about that shit. Does Taiwan have that? No, they don't. So yeah, that's a plus. That's a plus for Taiwan. That's all you really need to know. Is Taiwan isn't putting Muslims into camps and forcing them to eat pork, trying to convert them by force out of their Islamic ways. Forcing them to eat pork. Shocking them if they refuse to. Wow. Waterboarding. Wow. And they call it re-education camps over there in China. Yeah, they're re-educating. All right. Let's see. Taiwan has same-sex marriage. They were the first Asian country to put that through in 2017. China might say that they're pro-gay. And some communist, leftist, super left communist guy will try to tell you that China is pro-gay. What they don't know is China pretends to be pro-gay. You could be gay online, but if you're gay in real life, they don't like that sort of thing. And you can't complain. See, here's the thing about China. You can't complain about the government. You can't make any sort of statement about it. Otherwise, you disappear in a re-education camp. Education about how you're gay. Okay. Amazing. But Taiwan doesn't have that. Taiwan, you can be as gay as you want. Taiwan has freedom of expression. You can practice religion in Taiwan without the fear of having to go to one of these re-education camps. It's like I keep on going back to those camps. Well, that is definitely a doozy, isn't it? I mean, you would think a country with a reputation like that wouldn't be considered a main player, a big player, but yet they are. Huh. I wonder what whose opinion is. The World Health Organization. I wonder what they think about these re-education camps. They don't recognize Taiwan, but would they recognize China's dirty secrets? What is China doing to make sure that the Uyghurs don't get the Wuhan flu? Oh, they're in those camps, so they're safe from it. Okay. Oh, they're being forced to work? Oh, okay. Here's the other thing. Taiwan has freedom of expression, like I said. You can practice your religion. You can even speak about the government. You can be critical about the government. And they're not going to lock you up for that. You do that in China, and they'll lock you up. Now, isn't it lovely that Hollywood, liberal Hollywood, would bend over backwards to defend and bend over backwards to adhere to the demands of a strict communist country like China. A country that shuts down dissidents with fines, prison, re-education camps, locks Muslims into special camps where they force to eat pork. Isn't it nice that this happens? Hollywood knows this happens. The people and the NBA, anybody, these corporations, these companies, these people, these public figures that speak favorably about China, World Health Organization, they speak favorably about China. They know about these dirty secrets. If some drunk asshole like me knows about it, then everybody else knows about it. Taiwan doesn't have these. Taiwan doesn't have this problem. Let's see. Taiwan didn't start the coronavirus. COVID-19 didn't originate in Taiwan. It originated in China. That's another point for China. Taiwan right there. The real China. Even better. Taiwan doesn't have a virology lab. A virology lab that was researching new variants of SARS. With that research funded by the National Institute of Health to research bat coronaviruses. Taiwan didn't have that. Guess who did? China. Taiwan's better than China. 100%. If you want to get... Look, man, if you had a choice to go to Taiwan or China, and if it's about food, go to Taiwan. Go to China, probably get some gutter oil. Was Taiwan welding their people into apartments? No, they weren't. It's I think it's pretty easy to say who's number one here. Let's say, Taiwan didn't lie to the world by saying that there's no human-to-human transmission possible, and getting the World Health Organization involved to lie for them as well. Come on. Taiwan #1, man. All the way, no joke. I'm serious. I'm not being sarcastic. Taiwan even has less pollution, cleaner air. China pollutes like a motherfucker. They don't give a shit. They don't give a care. And before we say anything about the U.S., yeah, China pollutes way more than we do. They don't give a fuck. Dump that shit in the river, put that in the sky. They don't care. And at the same time, they'll save face. So, they have to make it look good. They'll go as far as spray painting the grass green, just to make it look like everything's okay. You can fact check me on that stuff if you want to. That's 100% real. Anyway, Taiwan even has better movies than China. China's movies suck so bad they have to pirate our shit. Okay, now let's get into let's get into the tag along. Let's talk about that real fast. Now, the tag along, I actually did enjoy this film. The film was not bad. Of course, this is my first introduction to Taiwanese film. I don't know if there's certain themes or whatever. I do know that this movie is based on folklore of a spirit that would make people disappear, get lost in the woods. Okay, that would sort of incite or entice elderly and children to follow it into the woods. Knowing that, I didn't know that before getting to this movie. I figured that out afterwards, and I kind of wish the movie was a little bit different then, because the movie wasn't really about people following this little girl into the woods. In fact, it was more like the little girl would find you, and there would be these interesting scenes where the little girl would scare and then kind of like enter their body through their skull, like behind them with her finger, like just feeding through, and you see getting kind of into the eyes and all that. It's kind of cool, but you had no idea where they went. It wasn't even implied at all that they went to the mountains or to the woods. That part's kind of disconnected, but overall it was good. Now, this is not a slasher film. This is not a Joe Bob Briggs style slasher film at all. This is not going to be, you're not going to use the 3 Bs for this. Okay? Bodies, blood, boobs. There's blood. Are there bodies? Kind of, you know what? I'm going to go and say yeah. I was going to say no, because they don't really die. The people that die, you found later on towards the end of the film. I don't want to spoil it, but you're probably not going to watch this film, are you? There is a really cool part at the end of the film where you see all these bodies, and they're moving, all these bodies in these trees, and they're like bodies on top of bodies. Think about like Holocaust level horror, that sort of graphic scene right there in a tree, and the limbs kind of moving on top of each other, kind of like, scraping each other and all that. Very, very grim, very morbid. I like that. When it comes to imagery, this movie has it. It really does. And the story's not bad either. So it follows, let's see, make sure I get the names right, okay. You got this guy named Ho Chin Wee. Now you think he's gonna be the main guy. He's kind of it. But the main star really is Shin Yi Chong. Shin Yi Chong is a radio DJ and is Wee's girlfriend. It's more her story than it is his story. But they're so close together, it's like they're both kind of the main character, but she definitely takes the lead. After all, she's the one who actually has to be the hero of the day and save his ass. She's kind of a hero, Though towards the end, she sort of kind of just runs around with flares and all that. But yeah, we'll get into that. Anyway, So Ho Chin Wei lives with his grandmother. Okay. And he's involved with his girlfriend. They've been together for 5 years. He's wanting to have a family, wanting to have kids. She's not wanting to get married, and she does not want to have kids, whatever. So there's conflict, there's regret, there's struggle, there's grief. And apparently that's what this ghost is attracted by, is the feelings of regret. I say grief, man, whatever. Of regret. And that's one thing I like about this film compared to other ghost films, let's say from America, where usually it's like the ghost has a personal connection to either the people or to the location, like maybe like a dead body from of a family before they used to be in the house, or maybe it was on an Indian burial ground or some sort of burial ground or whatever. In this film, nothing like that at all. In fact, in this film, it's like the ghost doesn't really have any sort of personal connection at all with these people. It's just that it is a wandering spirit that is attracted to these people because of their regret. Now, I'll say, that's something you find out later on. And it's not really implied in the movie. It's one of those things where you look back on the film like, what is the pattern here? What is the connection? Why is this ghost really messing with his family? There's no personal connection other than a common feeling of regret running through. And you could say, well, that's a common feeling in all families. Right. So this little girl in the red dress must have been quite busy if she was antagonizing our main characters in this universe. Should be antagonizing someone else. Okay. All right, let me put some stuff on the screen here. Now, our main character, Shin Yi Chung, she looks pretty nice, actually. Let me go and put her image here on the screen. For those listening to on the podcast feed, I will include the photo in the Deadman's Tome on the Deadman's Tome page and also on the deadmanstome.net. Let me go ahead and show y'all what she looks like. Not bad. Not bad on the eyes. Kind of, with Asian girls, more petite for my taste, whatever, really. But, yeah, here you go. Not bad. Not bad. She kind of has more, like, Western features about her. She's, apparently her dad is a Italian-American. Her mom is Taiwanese. So that's where you get that blend. Yeah, not bad. Oh, that photo did not go well there. Let me put one more. In fact, the photo I'm going to put up is going to be the one. This scene really stands out to me. This is the miscarriage scene. Okay, so the our couple, they have a common thing. They're arguing about something. I've argued time and time again. You get that they only argue about it once, but the way they do it, you could tell there's history behind this. They've been over this conversation. He is all about Yo Chin Yi wants to have a family and a kid and wants to put a baby inside Shin Young Chung, but she doesn't want it. Yi Chung isn't about having a baby right now. She doesn't really know what she wants. She doesn't really go into it. But marriage isn't in the picture, and having a baby is not in the picture either. And later on in the film, when Chin Yi, the names, but Chin Yi he has an encounter with the little girl, with the girl in the red dress, and he's kind of he's disappeared for a while. He's taken away. So when she's dealing with that, she's like reflecting on photos that they had together. And the back of the photos is like 5 years together. We're gonna get married. Talk about having kids. It's like, I guess she forgot about that. Got sidetracked to other things. Became more occupied with what she wanted to do, I guess. Had some anxiety about it. That seems to be another theme here, is that the miscarriage There's 2 scenes where she has like this miscarriage thing. It's all on her head, but it's crazy how they do it. I like that. It's like blood's fucking everywhere, nasty. And the second time, a baby comes out of her, and she's holding it and all that. It's calling her mama, and it dies like right in her arms. Pretty sick and morbid looking. So that's obviously showing that our character doesn't really want to have a baby because she doesn't want a baby. She wants a baby. It's just that she's afraid of it. She has fears. Okay. Like I said, this spirit that haunts them is lured by regret. But also fear. Fear is another thing. So if you want to know the pattern, who goes first? So the movie starts off with the grandma and the Ho Chin. He's getting ready for work and all that. The grandma's the first one to go. So the aunt had disappeared, and she kind of comes back. And I like how they did this in this film. You don't really get the outright jump scares. It's more subtle. Like the people are moving around the house, the camera's constantly moving in the corner. Kind of discreet. If you blink, you would miss it. You would see the person go by. Okay, you had to be looking. It would catch you. There's someone there. I like how they did it like that. And constantly it was like that throughout the film. So the aunt is missing. She returns. The grandma's the first to go. That's when you don't see the girl then. You don't see the girl in the red dress there. You just see the hand kind of coming behind her. I'll say the part where the movie kind of drops the ball on for me is when you actually do see the girl in the red dress. I'll back that up. The first time you see her, it's not so bad because you see her kind of like in captured footage, kind of following our main people or our main guys, whatever, throughout the film, and that does look kind of cool. It's like this spirit that tags along, completely uninvited. Just attracted, smelling, getting a whiff of your fear and your regret. Okay. But there's a scene, and it first starts. There's a character, they call him Uncle. Uncle Khan. He, in fact, let me back up Uncle Khan. Uncle Khan's a cool character. He's the comedy guy. He's the funny guy. I might have a photo of him here. Let's see. He's kind of the comic relief here. He's the security guy of their apartment area. And he tries to ward off the spirits. He tries to ward off the spirits using firecrackers because that apparently works. And according to their folklore, you use firecrackers, loud noises, and that scares the spirits away. Okay. There's also a scene where the uncle tries to do some sort of blessing at the house. At Ho Chin's apartment. I guess it's grandma's apartment. Tries to bless it. Now, the way they blessed it was hilarious. It was like, you motherfucking spirits, get the fuck out of here. Shit like that. Like using Ghost Adventures, Zach Baggins sort of style. If there's any motherfucking spirits out in here, you better get out before I kick your ass. Shit like that. I kid you not. It's pretty good. Pretty good shit. And I didn't know this, but looking into this, according to the movie's trivia, apparently when they did this blessing, and during the filming of this film actually, they would actually bless the scene, bless the set. Anyway, Uncle Chan, he actually sees the girl in the red dress, the CG version of it. Not good. Not good. I guess the first time you really do see it is this scene, if I can find it here. But it's where is it? Oh, right here. The first time you really see it is right here, but it's not moving, so it's not bad. It's just a disturbing image, kind of goofy looking. You see it for a moment. It's not a right at you jump scare. This is like a, I guess right here in this particular shot it is, but as they're moving on the apartment, it's kind of like behind. It's very interesting how they did that. I like that. Anyway, when the Uncle Kun sees his little red girl, though, it's moving about. It's jumping around like a monkey. In a way, I was like, okay, I'll give it a pass. I'll try to, but it's 2015. The CG should be better. Come on, man. What is this? It does things that you expect, like the guy's in a little booth. He's a security guard, right? The door opens behind him. You expect it, like the little girl's going in. He looks behind. There's no one there, of course. Boom, right behind him on the window. That's very predictable. You saw it coming. You saw that one coming. That one wasn't very good. That might be the weakest part of this film. That, and after the really cool scene with the bodies moving in the trees, with the corpses in the trees. I guess they're not corpses because I guess they're kind of alive still. After that really cool looking scene, you're then treated to CG zombie babies that all look the same, and it's kind of cringe. Like, okay, I'll look the other way on this one too. It's small. It's a very short amount of time, but I hate it when films do that. Like, if you're going to choose between crappy CG or just show nothing and then just imply that something's there, just go with the implying thing. Even if the CG looked good for that moment, if you know that you're cutting some sort of corner to make it work, you might want to just back up and just pull the plug on that idea. And we're not using the CG. This film is more emotional. Like, there isn't a big epic battle between our main characters and this ghost girl. Okay? There's no real epic face-off. There is a moment where our main character is actually in this little girl's grip, and it turns into like this weird zombie tree thing that's just growing around her, like entangling her and taking possession of her. Which I've been playing a lot of Blasphemous. That kind of makes me think of Blasphemous right there, with the vines and the way the tree kind of grow around her. It's kind of cool. But in that moment, like, she's going through flashbacks of the fond moments between her and her boyfriend, and thinking back how they wanted to be together. They loved being together. She wanted a family too at one point, and he wanted a family. She wanted to have kids too. He wanted to have kids. And there's the regret, but instead of focusing on the regret, it was focusing on the positives and all that. Around that time, one of her extra flares, she lights that thing, and the flares scare away this entity, and it was scared away. That's it. You scared it, and you overcame your fear. And then, well, she escapes with her boyfriend. There's some other layers to this film. Like I said, there's a folklore aspect of it. There's one point where it decides to shift away from the little girl in the red dress to a moth. That part was, they could probably just take the whole thing out and it wouldn't change anything about this movie at all. It's like, you already have this monster. You already have this I guess, like by the word, villain in the movie, in your story. Why do you need a moth thing, another creature? You don't need that. There was an interesting part where they made it look like the girl's face was on the back of the moth. But I mean, it's a scene that they could do without. It's a whole concept that they could do without. Like if they just took out that part of the film, it would be okay. And that's the part where she starts researching the folklore behind what's happening or in the area, and she starts thinking, okay, maybe I need to check out the mountain, check out the forest over there, and see what's going on. She doesn't go alone. Okay, she's not a blonde in this. She takes a team with her. She does report that these family members are missing, so the police go with her, or more like a rescue team. They go with her, and she gets lost from the group, and that's when all hell breaks loose. Like I said in the beginning, this movie does remind me a lot of Force 2016, because you have that you have a lot of the forest scenes, some kind of creepy stuff kind of going in there. You got the force claiming people. But Tag Along doesn't have Natalie Dormer. You know, doesn't have the Game of Thrones chick. But like I said, I think overall it's a decent film. It's my first Taiwanese horror film. Would I recommend it? I definitely would. If you like paranormal films, I definitely would. You would definitely enjoy it. Alright. Now, if you like the more slashers, that's more my speed too. If you like that, well, hang tight, because later on this month we'll be talking about Taiwanese slasher films. I'm going to find one, watch one, I'll review that thing. I'm going to look for, I want their B movies. That's what I'm looking for. I want to get their bottom of the barrel, and I want to get their top shit. I want to find the Taiwanese equivalent to a Friday 13, if they have that. In China, you're not going to find that. But in Taiwan, you probably would. Another reason why Taiwan is better than China. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to go and wrap this up here. You guys, ladies, have a good one.